Good morning and welcome to the meeting of the Advisory Committee of the Lower American River Conservancy. Seeing a quorum of members, I'd like to ask Mary Ahern to call the roll.
Bill Cerna,
Here.
Vanessa McCarthy Olmsted, Rebecca Sloan, Karina Talamontes, Nicole Cuellar, Donald Terry, Morgan Kilgour, here, Stephen Benson,
Here.
Jennifer Lucchese, Stephen Green,
Here.
Corey Brown,
Here.
Cassie Gilson. Here. We have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary. First, I'd like to introduce our new executive director of the Wildlife Conservation Board, who was appointed in October. Comes with tremendous experience, Jennifer Norris to my left. Jennifer has a PhD in ecology from University of New Mexico and brings great expertise as well as great experience, having served as a scientist for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, working on endangered species and other issues. Most recently, she was with the Natural Resources Agency as Deputy Secretary, playing a key role with the state's 30 by 30 program and the Cutting Green Scissors program, which has helped facilitate many restoration projects. So with great honor and great pleasure, I'd like to introduce Jennifer Norris, the Executive Director of Wildlife Conservation Board, attending her first meeting today for the Lower American River Conservancy Advisory Committee.
Thanks, Corey. I'm excited about this meeting. I'm excited to be here and meet all of you. I didn't get a chance to get to that end of the table, but hello, people. I am like many in Sacramento. I have the river as my backyard. I happen to live in River Park, so I spend a lot of my time walking along the river, and I'm just so pleased to be part of this group that's doing really important work for protecting it and thinking about how to get people to appreciate this incredible resource we have in our backyard. So I look forward to working with all of you, and excited about our meeting today. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. We like to start off our sessions with public comments. If you are speaking on any particular item that is a agendized item, please reserve your comments for that agendized item. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak on any of the items that are not currently on the agenda? Seeing none, let's move to item number 2. We have a couple of informational items on the website and in everybody's packet. There should be a list of funded projects that Wildlife Conservation Board, following recommendations of this advisory committee, has already funded. Kara Allen, who runs the program very effectively for Wildlife Conservation Board, is here to present on that, as well as a funding summary, letting us know how much money we have left to spend. Kara?
So I think we skipped an item. We have a first action item, which is still
Oh, yeah?
like the chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was rifling for my.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, the first action item is electing a chair and vice chair for 2024. And I think we'll accept nominations for it. If folks are willing, I'm open to continuing, but if folks have other views, that's fine as well. Anybody want to make a nomination?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Green?
I'd like to nominate Corey Brown to continue as our chairman.
Is there a second?
I second.
Second, any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, we should go to a vote on the chair position. Mary?
Bill Cerna,
Aye.
Vanessa McCarthy Olmsted, Rebecca Sloan. Aye. Karina Talamontes, Nicole Cuellar,
Aye.
Donald Terry, Morgan Kilgour,
Aye.
Stephen Benson,
Aye.
Jennifer Lucchese, Stephen Green,
Aye.
Corey Brown,
Aye.
Cassie Gilson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. And now we have a position for vice chair. Councilwoman Talamontes has served in that position. And on cue, she's walking in right now.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Talamontes, we are procedurally electing a vice chair for the advisory committee. This is Jennifer's seat, so you. Are there nominations for vice chair of the advisory committee?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I'd like
Mr. Green.
to nominate City Council Member Talamontes for vice chair.
And would you be willing to continue serving? Okay, and is there a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, it's moved and seconded. Any other nominations? Seeing none. Moved and seconded that Councilmember Talamontes continue serving as vice chair of the advisory committee. Mary, would you please call the roll?
Bill Cerna,
Aye.
Vanessa McCarthy Olmsted, Rebecca Sloan.
Aye.
Karina Talamontes. Aye. Nicole Kayar,
Aye.
Donald Terry,
Aye.
Morgan Kilgour,
Aye.
Stephen Benson,
Aye.
Jennifer Lucchese, Stephen Green,
Aye.
Corey Brown, Cassie Gilson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, so agenda item 2 is our funded projects table. And this is information that we have provided for several years now since we've started funding projects. But I do want to point out some new information that I have included in the notes column, and that concerns our completed projects. So I have included the amount of unspent funds that we will be recovering once the project is officially closed out. And so for starters, the Lower American River Natural Resources Management Plan, we will be recovering a little over 6,800 from that project, and it'll go back into our general fund pot of money. And if we scroll down to page 2, I do just want to point out the let's see, at the very bottom, the Blue Diamond acquisition. That project has been completed and closed, and we have recovered a little over 4,000 from that project, and that's going back into our Prop 68 funding source. And you will see that on our next agenda item. I'll point out where that's being accounted for. So are there any questions on our funded projects or this new information? Okay, so I guess.
Thank you, Kara, for the presentation on that. I think in one of our future tours, and Kara will talk about this later in the agenda, we do want to provide opportunities for advisory council members and members of the public to be able to visit some of these sites and see the accomplishments of LARC recommended projects funded by Wildlife Conservation Board. Kara, please continue.
Yeah, so our next item is the funding summary. So if we could pull that up on the big screen. I just want to walk through the layout of this information. There's a lot going on. And I also included some additional information at the bottom of it. So we'll get there. But the first item is our general fund source, which we were allocated 1 million to start off the program. We have exhausted all those funds. But again, once we recover the unspent funds from the Natural Resource Management Plan, that balance will go up by a little bit. So that will be available for future projects. And then the next funding source is the Prop 68, which we received 10 million from that bond. And all the projects that we have funded through that source are listed here by the board meeting date that they were approved at. And I do want to point out that as it stands right now, our Prop 68 funds are going to liquidate or go away on June 30th, 2028. So that is something to keep in mind for future projects. We need them to be completed by this date. And let's see, if we scroll down to the second page. At the very bottom, I want to bring your attention to that DGS appraisal review fee of $11,766. That was for the Deller acquisition that, if you recall, that fell through, but it was being assessed along with the Blue Diamond acquisition. And so there was this fee as part of the appraisal process, and so we had to take it out of this funding source. And so that's why you see that there. And then the contingency fund for approved projects, this is something you all approved a while ago for $500,000. And that has been reduced to $465,000. And that's because you recommended for funding the FAA Nature Center augmentation of $35,000 at our last meeting. And that was subsequently approved at the November WCB board meeting. And so that's why that amount has gone down. And for any future augmentations, you will see them listed here with that superscript 1, which indicates that it is being deducted from that 500,000 or that contingency fund.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr.
if I
Sir.
could interrupt at this point. So, Kara, can you remind us what criteria, if any, are there for us to consider relative to the use of the contingency fund?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Like what considerations are expected of this advisory body as it relates to the contingency fund? Is it simply the will of this advisory body to say we'd like to use a portion or all of it for any given project?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think, we have a lot of projects still ongoing right now. And so if there is a funding augmentation request, and if that's above a certain amount, I think it's 10% of the original grant amount, we will bring that augmentation request to you for recommendation before we tap into that reserve. But, at some point, we will need to use that before the funds go away. And so I think that is something for you all to let us know if there is a project that maybe our current balance, there's not enough to fund it, then we can tap into that remaining amount.
So is there anything that by statute or other means requires us to only look to existing projects that have shortfalls?
You know what? This is just something we all agreed to do. We can use that for future unapproved projects,
I guess what I'm asking is what constitutes future? What if we were to approve a project today?
Mhm.
And it's, maybe it might be short of what is being requested. Could we use the contingency fund for that purpose?
I don't see why not.
Conceivably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is just a line in the funding summary. It is not actually like a separate account in the state fund at all. So it is Prop 68 funds.
No, I understand. And so it has the same shelf life, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask a follow-up to that? Because I want to say in the first couple meetings, we asked exactly that, like, what was the authority for staff to do these things without like bringing it back for a vote and stuff? And I thought we had set thresholds as far as when there's a shortfall or do you need to repurpose or there's an overrun, and what that was. I mean, it's been years, so.
Yeah, no, you all agreed to allow staff to move forward with an augmentation if it was no more than 10%
There you go.
of the original grant amount. And so, for example, for the FAO Nature Center, that $35,000 amount, although it's small, it was more than 10% of the
Right.
original grant amount, because the original grant amount was pretty small as well.
So we have precedent of going over the 10%.
Correct.
Yeah, to further clarify, as long as the funds are used for purposes that are allowable under Proposition 68, there's discretion. We would make a recommendation, but the actual decisions are made by the Wildlife Conservation
So I
Board.
understand.
The reserving the 10% is really a best practice to make sure there's funding to complete projects that have been funded in case there are some overruns.
No, great question. I was hoping I would get the question on that item. The last thing I want to point out, this is a new line, the recovered funds, which, as I mentioned from the funded projects table, we did recover $4,214 from the Blue Diamond acquisition. And so that is captured here, and that has increased the remaining balance that we have for Prop 68. And so for all future recovered funds, you will find it under this line as well.
Good to see some projects coming in under budget.
And just so you know, when we tally up all the to be recovered funds that we know of right now, it is $243,876 that will be put back into either general fund or Prop 68 for the program.
Very good.
And yeah.
Any
that's it
questions for
funds.
Kara on the funding summary? I would like to point out that the 2.4 million that we have left, this may be, plus the 200,000 in potential recovery funds, this may be the only funding that our program has to work with ongoing. Traditionally, the conservancy programs are funded through bond acts, and bond acts happen periodically. There's no set schedule for bond acts. The legislature is considering two different climate bonds, one of which has funding for Lower American River Conservancy, one of which doesn't. It's not clear that either will make it to the ballot. And if it makes it to the ballot, you still have a public vote that's required and then appropriations by the legislature. Yesterday, the Department of Finance issued a letter basically freezing general fund allocations to various entities that further limits the ability to find general fund or other funding sources. So as we look at projects, it's very important to realize we have only assured a very small amount of funding left. And as we'll discuss later, we have several projects that we funded planning grants for. So I want us to be very acutely focused on having a very limited amount of funding remaining in our for the Lower American River Conservancy with no assurance of any future funding. Though we continue to work to try to increase funding. Supervisor Cerna?
Thank you. Kara, to date since we're an advisory body to the Conservancy Board, has there been any disagreement or adjustment that was that was contrary to the precise recommendation from us? No,
the board of WCB has gone forward with the projects as you all have recommended.
And so that deference has been pretty consistent, it sounds like. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? Very good. Kara, thank you. Before we move on to the next item, the American River Ranch Animal Barn construction request, did want to introduce Rebecca Sloan representing Supervisor Patrick Hume. And then Vanessa McCarthy Olmstead, who I believe was going to be here representing Supervisor Desmond. But okay.
Can we ask if maybe she joined us by Zoom if she is online?
No, she's not online.
I was gonna say, we would have to agendize where she was in order to let her do that.
Okay, very good. Kara, do you want to proceed with procedural action item number 4, the American River Ranch Animal Barn construction request? We'll have Kara present, we'll have the sponsors of the project present, and then have public comments related to that project.
Yeah, thank you. I would love to present this project. So this is the American River Ranch Animal Barn Construction Project. This is an implementation proposal that we received from Soilborne Farms. The WCB request amount is $2,012,000, and the cost share is 20% of the total project cost. So this project is located within the limits of the city of Rancho Cordova, and it's within the River Bend area of the Parkway, which is on the south side of the American River. And it is immediately adjacent to Cordova High School, which is a Title I school. And this project's also located on 55 acres of land that is owned by the county and that is known as the Historic American River Ranch. And I have outlined the area of the ranch in red in the inset map. And the 3 blue dots within that polygon are the 3 elements of this project, which include the animal barn and 2 fields that will be improved to pasture. These 2 maps show that the project is within a disadvantaged community according to DWR, which is that top map. And the bottom map is from Cal EPA's Cal Enviro screen and shows us that the project is within 1 mile of a justice community, which is in the top 25th percentile for environmental indicators of poverty, unemployment, and traffic. And this slide shows some of the previous investments we have made in the Riverbend area. And that either directly support this project or that this project will support in the near future. So for example, the parking lot construction and the animal program planning project directly support this proposed project. And this project, once it's completed, will be able to support the American River Ranch habitat restoration that's currently being implemented, as well as the future implementation of Cordova Creek, the lower portion that we funded the planning of, as well as the American River Parkway's Natural Resource Management Plan. So the need for a new animal barn and land improvements stem from Soilborne Farms' mission as an urban agriculture and education project, as well as their commitment to the county to interpret and improve the Parkway's resources at the historical ranch. There's also a need for holistic ecosystem management, and not just of the ranch's row crops and orchards, but of the surrounding parkway lands. And finally, there is a really neat opportunity coming to a head after years of collaboration and planning with Cordova High School and UC Davis to support Cordova High School's Agriculture Academy, which is a unique career pathway that is intended to inspire our next generation of land stewards. And pictured here on the top is one of the weedy fields that will be converted to perennial pasture. And the bottom picture is of the existing animal pens on site that are not capable or safe to support the ranch's interpretive center or the educational partnership. So the primary goal of this project is really to set the stage for the final phase of implementing the animal program that will bring livestock back to the ranch and literally open the barn doors for the experiential learning, which are 2 main pieces of the ranch's master plan that was approved by the county in 2014. There's also a new and farther reaching goal of the animal program that this project will facilitate and includes supporting the Parkway's Natural Resource Management Plan goals for biological resources, cultural resources, human use impact, and community coordination. This Google Earth image shows the lay of the land around the ranch with Cordova High School labeled at the very bottom of the image. And the in red, I've highlighted the 3 project components. And in blue, I've highlighted the areas that will be targeted by the grazing program through the Ag Academy, which are just a fraction of the improvements or opportunities in the larger Riverbend area. Next slide, please. It's not working. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. So the objectives of this project are really straightforward and include completing final designs for the animal barn, constructing the 3,000 square foot animal barn, and improving over 8 acres of land to support a dedicated grazing program. Seen here is the rendering of the new animal barn that is being permitted through the city of Rancho Cordova and was designed and planned with funding through the LARC program under a 2021 grant. And this barn will be able to shelter 60 sheep, 20 rabbits, and 200 chickens year round. It will serve 60 people at a time for classes and the visiting public. It includes a living roof that will be planted with native California plants that are drought tolerant. And it will provide hands-on practice and live demonstrations for students and the visiting public. And this space will also interpret through multilingual signage what organic and regenerative farming is, the benefits of agroecology, and what you can see from the elevated viewing deck, including habitat plantings, the restored Cordova Creek corridor, the restored oak woodland and elderberry forest, as well as the American River watershed. And the project's cost share will go towards project management and converting 8 acres of weedy fields to annual and perennial pasture with mobile fencing, shade structures, bird boxes, and water troughs to support livestock year round. And the city's cost share is actually going towards several of the exterior features of this new barn.
Chair, if I could interrupt the presentation.
Yes, Supervisor.
So I want to make sure I understand when you're talking about cost share, the request is for 20%. It represents 20% of the total budget for the entire project.
Just for this phase 1 of implementing the animal program. So the phase 2, the cost share is not part of those costs.
Okay. How many other, maybe I'm beating to the punch here, but how many other parties are there that are taking on cost share?
So it's the city of Rancho Cordova and Soilborn Farms.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I think we'll hear their support in their public comments today, but I had another question on this slide.
Yeah.
Could you clarify how the 8 acres that would be used for grazing are currently being used and if there's any fire benefit from this improvement?
So they are currently just weedy fields. They are not being used for any reason. They are part of that 55 acres of the historic American River Ranch. So yeah, it would be a big lift to the ranch to have these 8 acres of fields improved for some use. And again, they would support livestock year round.
Thank you.
And Kara, just one more. You described this as like the first phase and there being a second phase. What does the second phase entail?
So the second phase is actually acquiring the livestock and farm animals, bringing them to the farm, and then really rolling out that educational partnership with the Ag Academy.
Thank you.
And that includes faculty and, teachers, all the, curriculum. So that it's a big task as well.
So follow-up question to that would be, how is phase 2 anticipated to be funded?
As far as I know, that will be through a fundraising campaign that Soilborn Farms is currently working on putting out right now.
So the phases are really, the first phase is capital, second phase is programming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, as I mentioned, this, the goal of this project is really to set the stage for the next phase, which will be rolling out the program.
And I would also say my city's contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to Soilborn for various things. I'm sure that would be something we would figure out how to
As has the county.
match or pay for.
Other questions for Kara? Kara.
So this project will build the first flagship interpretive center on the south side of the river that is Parkway focused and will provide multiple benefits to the Parkway and the nearby communities. by providing dynamic interpretation of the Parkway's historic farming culture, which is not done anywhere else on the Parkway. It will provide a year-round living laboratory for over 300 underserved urban teens per year, plus internships and paid job training for 15 teens per year. And this new center really will allow soil-borne farms to expand their community education to bridge the gap between agriculture and ecology and demonstrate concepts around healthy soils, carbon sequestration, nutrient cycling, and microorganisms, which all play a role in building climate resilience on our natural and working landscapes. And finally, I like to think of this project as grazing the way to implementing the management actions in the Parkway's Natural Resource Management Plan for controlling invasive weeds, reducing wildfire threats, sequestering carbon, stewarding wildlife habitat, and building meaningful partnerships for the Parkway. And so as far as the proposal's technical review, it scored very well across 4 of the 5 reviewers. 1 reviewer failed it. CDFW, the regional office, strongly supports this project because it aligns with their goals and priorities. It also supports the state's 30 by 30 initiatives, and they believe that experiential education is the preferred approach in learning about the environment and natural resources. And we did receive strong support for this project from the offices of Supervisor Hume and Desmond, as well as regional parks, the city of Rancho Cordova, Folsom Cordova Unified School District, Valley Vision, and over 200 members of the community. And when it comes to the program's 4 goals, this project will have the greatest benefit to education and interpretation of the Parkway's resources and history, followed by a significant benefit to public access and wildlife habitat, and will have a marginal benefit to water quality once the grazing program is up and running. And there were a few unresolved concerns expressed largely by 1 reviewer, in that this proposal does not align with the intent of the program. It has a strong agriculture focus, it's expensive, and will exhaust remaining LARC funds when there's a perception that higher priority projects are nearing readiness. And that does it for me. So we can open it up for comments and questions.
Okay, any other questions for Kara?
Just,
Yes, Stephen.
could you elaborate a little bit on the concern about not aligning with the LAR, the management of the plan? What is anything more specific communicated in terms of what doesn't align? Like how is this not aligned with the plan?
So I think that will be brought up later when we hear from the advisory committee. But as far as I know, that this program was developed for certain reasons. Now, how the bill of the program, the legislation of the program is written, I think this project absolutely aligns with the intent of the program. So yeah, I personally disagree with that concern.
So can I ask a follow-up to that?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, you said one of the reviewers had those comments. That's not necessarily the comments or the belief of your office.
Correct.
Thank you.
I'd also,
Because we had 2 staff from WCB review the proposal, and then we had 3 committee members review the proposal as well.
Kara, I can address part of the issue. Having written the statute, the goals of statute were to enhance and protect the wildlife and natural resources of the Parkway. First, second, increase public access. Third is to environmental education. And fourth was to facilitate facilitate cultural education, Native American history, things like that. Agricultural education wasn't one of the things that had been discussed in terms of the formulation of legislation. I think this project has benefits, has significant benefits. Any of us who have had children go through soil-borne farms know what a wonderful program is run. I think this would be a very good facility because part of the proposal fits well within the statute. Part of it is somewhat tangential, whatever. When we get through the recommendations, I want to be recommending partial funding for the project so we can also reserve funding for some of the other projects that will come to us in the coming year or so. But I wanted to explain that this project, when we developed and I wrote the legislation, wasn't the type of project was conceived, but there are elements of it that justify LARC funding for this.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Cerna?
Thank you. So you mentioned, Kara, that there was one review panelist that had concerns or expressed concerns about the amount of request, I think is what I heard you say. Was there any other commentary expressed by others, not about the merits of the project, but the cost of the project?
Initially, yes, and that's because the budget we received was really, all the request from WCB is just for the barn construction. So it's one line item in our budget worksheet just for construction. And so there was one other reviewer that was wondering how they got to this $2 million amount. But then I did follow up with Soilborne Farms. They provided the detailed estimate from a contractor or from maybe their engineer. And I was able to provide that to this other person and didn't have any other comments or concerns. And I will mention that WCB has funded several interpretive centers recently, and this is not out of the ballpark. I mean, a $2 million request for this type of facility that has a lot of features and really neat interactive components is not expensive.
Do we have any idea how scalable the whole project is?
I'm not sure. That would be something for Soilborne Farms.
Okay, that's going to be one of my questions for Sean.
Yeah, we do have the applicant here, and I also heard something about a recommendation of size of the grant that we may do. And we still haven't even heard from the public before we start making recommendations or decisions on what we're going to do.
Yeah, no, I think we should probably open it up for public comment.
Very good. Maybe we can invite Sean Harrison, the Executive Director of Soilborne Farms, to start the public comments. Sean, welcome.
Good morning. I appreciate everybody taking the time to weigh on this important issue. I'm Sean Harrison. I'm the founder and co-director of Soilborne Farms. We are the operator of the American River Ranch, which is a historic facility located at mile 15, dating back to the 1840s. I'm going to speak briefly to some comments. I'm going to read my points because all of these are critical and they've surfaced in this conversation. So first and foremost, history and mandate. So in 2008, Parkway stewards in Sacramento County designated the American River Ranch as an official interpretive center within the American River Parkway. That same year, Soilborne was selected as the operator of the facility and tasked with both restoring the 55-acre site and creating an accessible center that educates the visiting public. What we inherited in 2008 was what could be best described as a landscape that was ecologically damaged and a facility that was in serious disrepair. And this was not an accessible public facility at the time that we took it on. Today, fast forward 16 years, you will now see an ecosystem in recovery with thriving ecology and over 30,000 visitors a year learning real skills on how to steward the earth and care for the parkway. Why grazing animals? So the biggest contributor in the beginning when we started this farm were we brought animals on the farm to help us to basically get control of 60 acres of star thistle infestation. And they had a tremendous impact through rotational grazing program in enlivening the soils, establishing habitat, controlling weeds without harmful chemicals, and over-reliance on mechanical management. We stopped the program though, despite all these positive gains, because the facilities did not support the welfare of and care of the animals. Nor did it integrate the type of public engagement that we where we could best interpret and teach our land stewardship practices. The building that is before you today, will be the first interpretive center building on the American River Ranch that the county tasked us with developing back in 2008. It'll be the first interpretive facility. It addresses, these concerns: welfare for the animals and good public interpretation, as well as accessibility, improved accessibility. The benefits overall of the grazing program is reduced fire. We had over 160 fires in the parkway last year. We did multi-million-dollar restoration on lands bordering the American River Ranch that burned 3 times over the last 2 years, which animals could have helped prevent. We will reduce invasive weeds on a much greater landscape than the 55 acres of the ranch, which is largely, again, star thistle. Reduce chemical use, which is not great for animals and plants that we're trying to encourage on the parkway, and reduce mechanical inputs. So as an example, the Cordova Creek restoration, which occurred during our tenure, is exploding with life right now. And when we have more reptiles and amphibians and bird life, and you're using mechanical and chemical techniques in bordering or contiguous lands, it's not good for our critters. The grazing animals address this specifically. The benefits include more skilled human parkway stewards, because that's what we're teaching as an organization. Better cared for animals, more biologically active soils, more captured carbon, better conditions for life to thrive, resulting in more diverse plant and animal ecology, improved site accessibility, improved hands-on learning, and improved site interpretation. Again, we are delivering on the mandate Sacramento County Board of Supervisors and the Parkway stewards back in 2005 entrusted Soil-Borne Farms with. This project is shovel ready. It addresses all of the primary goals of LARC. I've read it backwards and forwards. And most importantly, it helps directly convey the daily message that care for the earth starts with active stewardship of our local environment. The project is shovel ready right now. And we are requesting full funding. And without full funding, we will be delayed significantly in implementing this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Harrison? Supervisor Turner?
Good to see you, Sean. So you heard my question earlier about scalability. Can you speak to that? I mean, you just concluded with there'll be delays if you don't get full funding, but how proportional is that?
At this point, Phil, the timeline is construction starting pending funding in March of 2025. So we would complete that in the latter part of 2025. Without funding from the LARC, we will be sitting on a $2 million deficit, which would kick in quite a bit of work from our organization standpoint to find that gap. We do not have those funds targeted at this time. So we would be delayed at least a year past that. So best case scenario would be finishing construction in 26, starting programming in 27. And the real issue here is that we've teed up a lot of activities, both from a land stewardship and regenerative land perspective, that really need animals on there now, right? The presence of all these invasive weeds on bordering and lands interior to the 55 acres jeopardize the creek. They jeopardize, restoration projects. We have 3 acres of oak and elderberry going in this winter. And then from a programmatic standpoint, Cordova High School is a program that we've been really babying along for a long time. And you have 300 urban teens that are ready to roll. The only thing they can work with right now are chicken and rabbits. And these are our future stewards. This is the population that we're trying to activate. It's the end of the chain in Rancho Cordova of a career pathway that we've been working diligently to create.
I get it. I mean, I understand the merits of it. I guess what I'm asking, given the fact that the chair has already kind of stated his general position, something less than what you're asking for, and whether that has traction amongst others, I don't know. We'll find out. But I wanted to kind of get ahead of that so that we can all understand, like what is the order of magnitude in terms of partial funding? If you were to receive half of what you're requesting, does that make a difference as compared to a third of what you're asking?
Anything short of full funding is problematic at this point. Is there potentially funding? We can't resume. It's going to be a public bid process, as you know. And so we have to come to the table with all the funds present before we start that process.
And in terms of any shortfalls or deficits, should this advisory body recommend partial funding, you said that this could be a delay of more than a year, basically. Do you make up the difference with fundraising activity?
We're requesting funds from the city of Rancho Cordova. And then without some other source of local jurisdiction, state or federal dollars, we would go out to our donor community. And that in this day and age right now is we would get something, but we would not likely get the amount that we would need in quick order.
Thank you.
Rebecca?
Do you have a sense what future years might result in additional costs? I know that we at the county are experiencing bids that are coming back higher than we initially forecasted. And so is this real dollars today? And do you have an idea what the percentage increase would be if you had to wait multiple years to fund?
It's a great question, Rebecca, and it's actually probably speaks to some of your concerns too, Phil, but why we're feeling the urgency is cost escalation is going up year over year by like 20%. So every year that we delay, cost goes up, and it's the funds are here. This is what we were tasked with. The WCB and the LARC authorized us to put this together, as far as the planning. And so it's like the time is now. Let's take advantage of it while we've got the funds, because we may not have them in the future. That being said, we're working with Corey and other directors, other parkway stewards like Soilborn are participating at the table to try to find other resources for the LARC. We obviously need that. This is not, a project that is the only one that the parkway needs, so that is not the statement that I'm making at all. I'm just saying that speaking to this particular point of agriculture, I think there's a misunderstanding of what Soilborn Farms has been tasked with as an interpretive center. Yes, we are growing 3 acres of vegetables, but the 55 acres, the vast majority of the 55 acres is demonstrating regenerative land stewardship management. That is what we are primarily interpreting at the American River Ranch through grassland ecology and restored agroecosystems and creek ecology. It is a diverse landscape ecology, and thousands of people come through that interpretive center to learn those skills and the importance of how we manage our open space resources. That is the role that the American River Ranch plays for the American River Parkway, in my opinion. So it is, while we are a farm, we are actually land stewards. And that's what we're interpreting.
I'd like to comment further on the urgency of the social benefit of their work. So I have the unique experience of having had 3 children in the school district that attended the schools in immediate proximity. So if you're not familiar with the geography here, within pretty much a 3-block radius, you have an elementary school, Cordova Gardens, you have a middle school, Mills Middle School, and you have Cordova High School. So over generations, since 2002, I have had a child in one of those schools. And this next month, my youngest will finally graduate. I can say over that period of time, the vulnerability of the immediately adjacent community, and mindfully, this is a regionally beneficial project, but the immediate adjacency has grown immensely in vulnerability. And I would say the impacts to the kids who attend these schools along the parkway during COVID is almost, we don't even know the bounds by which those impacts have resulted in our kids. I don't think they know. And I'm not sure that we can forecast how long those will remain. But we can't dismiss the benefit of helping the community understand the health benefits of food access and just the mental health and physical benefits of their interactions with soil-borne. So I'm concerned that when we have resources that we think we might need, this may be one of the most unique projects in the list of projects that I see in terms of public interface in this way. And I would like to hear when we have the school district and the city in public comment, add some detail to that for my colleagues here on the commission.
Before we get to public comment, Supervisor Cerna, Councilmember Talamantes each had a comment they wanted to make. They want to
Just a really
reserve.
quick point of order too, Mr. Chairman. We're continuing to share what our positions are on this project before we've actually had the public completely weigh in with public comment and other things. And we're risking violating the Brown Act of pre-decisioning before the public and everybody get to weigh in. on the
Councilmember,
project.
Brown Act doesn't govern us.
I was about to say that after those two comments, we
Okay, well, I said it
go
for you.
back to public comment, complete public comment before we have it open up our discussion.
And Mr. Chair, I have a couple of questions for Sean and one for Kara as well, at whatever's appropriate time. Yeah.
Okay, Phil, can you hold off, Councilmember Talamantes until we get to,
I just want to dovetail off of what Rebecca
go ahead.
has said. So I think that there's no doubt there's immediate benefit to the Rancho Cordova community and to the educational assets that are spread across that community. And the relationship between Cordova High School and Soil-Borne is already a special one, and this would make it, that much more special. But maybe you can briefly say, how does this benefit, to the point again made by Ms. Sloan, that it's a regional asset? What about Oak Ridge Elementary in Oak Park? What about Bret Hart, which serves Oak Park as well? Other areas of Sacramento City and County that quite frankly don't have a lot of outlets to explore the kind of subject matter that is in large part your mission.
It's a great question, Phil. And to be succinct, we work with almost every school district in Sacramento. Sacramento City Unified School District was the first district they worked with intensively, as we still do. Many of the schools in Sacramento Unified School District come to the farm for field trips, sometimes multiple times a year. We actually have 7 schools that are sort of our adopted school garden sites where we run full edible schoolyard programs at Sac City Unified School District in particular. Sac City and Folsom Cordova are our 2 primary districts, but we also, work with San Juan. We work with some of the school districts in the Natomas Reach, as well as Elk Grove. So there are thousands of kids from the multiple, areas all over Sacramento County that are coming to the American River Ranch every year. It's our biggest program for sure. In this case, the accessibility that the immediate adjacent schools have, they benefit from it, obviously more so than the other schools, but it is a priority of ours to make this place accessible through grants and donations, to make this place accessible so they can come and learn and experience this and then take that learning back to their own schools and home environments.
Thank you.
Councilmember Talamantes.
Supervisor Cerna asked my question about the adjacent school districts and what the partnership looks like. But I do agree with Councilmember Terry that maybe we should save all the questions for him at the end of public comment and then continue on with everyone that's here in case they have to go back.
Can I just clarify what my comment was?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm fine asking questions to the applicant, saying things like, we made our decision on how much to fund or what we're going to do should be reserved until after we've had the public completely weigh in. So asking questions right now would be
Yes.
completely fine.
We would like to move on to finish the discussion for Mr. Harrison, finish the questions to Mr. Harrison, then go on to public comment, then open up discussion amongst advisory committee members. That's the procedure we want to follow. Great. Cassie, did you have a question or was it more of a comment?
It's a question, if that's okay.
Please proceed.
Okay, so one for Sean and one for Kara. So Sean, first of all, thank you so much for the just tremendous facility you have and the program you run. I too have a daughter who has spent a lot of time there, and as someone who uses the parkway regularly, really appreciate the value of what you do and have been very supportive of the grants that we've given you historically for doing a range of other work. The only pause I have about this, it has nothing to do with what you've set forward because it seems wonderful. And so this sort of dovetails into Kara, but I want to go back to a partial funding question, which is that we have funded a whole number of planning grants. And I'm concerned. And so it goes to the phasing. You were mentioning that shovel ready, but starting in 2025. I'm wondering whether this committee is able to, if we were to consider a partial grant now, be able to revisit an additional grant before it becomes problematic and really putting off the project if we have a year to go. And the reason why I say that, and it's a question, not a, I haven't decided what I think about this, is because I spend the time in the legislature and the bulk of our funding comes from these conservation bonds, the climate bonds that are out there. And so we will know, within the next several months, whether or not the legislature puts a bond on the ballot. That would give me a whole bunch more comfort, because in a perfect world, what I'd like to see is this project, along with like what the status report of the other projects that we've done planning grants and have moved along because we have a vested interest in all of them coming to fruition. That may not be possible. So Kara, that may is sort of the dovetail into my question for you. So maybe Sean, start with sort of, is there a way, if that were to be the will of the group, to meet again in a time frame relevant to not really pushing, creating big problems for you from a putting off the start date perspective?
The timeline as, well, first of all, when I say shovel ready, we'll have permits in hand within the month.
Okay,
So it's ready
ready to go.
approved through the city of Rancho Cordova, CEQA, everything is dialed up. It's been a 3-year intensive process to work through that. So we are ready. As far as the timing though, the setting up the public bidding process is quite onerous and time intensive as well. So there's a timeline that we have to hit in order to start construction, which at this stage would be when weather is appropriate for that to occur, which would be in the spring of 2025. So if we don't have funds lined up, we can't go to public bid. And then we start to push that window very quickly to where then it needs to skip over a whole nother year, right? And as you all know, you never start a project without all the funds in place. So it is a big risk.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When do you anticipate needing to put the project, like when would that actually happen? Like within the next month, 2 months?
I'm sorry.
Where you would put the project out for public bid?
We would put it out. Our funding request to the city is being looked at in the June window. It would go to WCB, I think, in August. And then as soon as providing that it is awarded, we would immediately start the process for public bidding at that point.
WCB inspection in August.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have a board meeting in
Yes,
May, but this
yes.
isn't ready. So
Mr. Chair, if I could ask just a question as well.
Yes, Stephen.
When you went through the design process, it sounds like you've pretty much completed that if you're ready to go to bid. So as you've gone through the design process, did you identify any sort of scope alterations or things like that that could possibly be implemented to reduce the cost of the project?
I would like to say that we did not, but we did. And there were some things that we had hoped to do a little bit more comprehensive, but we kept it as contained as we could because the cost was, in our opinion, it was looking like, how are we going to raise $3 million? So we did design it within a fairly tight footprint and tried to keep the cost to where we're getting the essential infrastructure in place, which includes some accessibility. Remember that the fact that the American Ranch was not accessible to the public. So there's things, anytime we go vertical with something, there's accessibility kind of aspects to that. So those were essential details, and that's wrapped up in it. And there's nothing more that we put into it that really can get shaved off any longer.
Thank you.
So to go back to one of Cassie's questions, the next time that whatever we recommend to WCB, it'd be likely the WCB August meeting that they would take up the grant proposal for consideration. By that time, we'll know whether or not the legislature has placed a bond on the ballot. So we would have that possibility. The next WCB meeting would be in November, if I'm correct. And then there would be one in January or February.
I would say though, to make the August board meeting, we generally want approval by the middle of a month prior. No more than a month, no less than a month prior, but more would be better.
Right. Any other questions from advisory committee members? Thank you, Mr. Harrison, and other members of the public. Anybody else want to speak on this item? Kara?
We have a number of speaker cards, actually.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Hold on a second. So we have Jim Huber, Assistant Superintendent of, I think this is Folsom Unified School District.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to come speak on this project. My name is Jim Huber, and I am the Assistant Superintendent for the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. I oversee educational services. My work with Cordova High School and Soilborn Farms started in, I want to say 2007. I started with Cordova High School as an assistant principal in 2006. And I believe it was the following year that Soilborn kind of came to town, if you will. And they've been one of our most consistent partners ever since then. So I brought some notes to make sure I don't miss anything, but Soilborn Farms and FCUSD have been in partnership, like I said, since about 2007, but really in the last, 5 to 8 years, things have really taken off. But it's funny because I can remember us talking about the farm and the barn project. I think we started that conversation in 2010, 2011. So it's been a long time in terms of us trying to figure out exactly how to make this happen for us. Just so you're aware, also in terms of Folsom Cordova, we have over 58, I believe, languages spoken in our district, and there's about 32, 33 languages that are spoken at Cordova High School and in the surrounding elementary and middle schools. All those schools also are Title I schools, and they all serve students that definitely in terms of needs and access, et cetera, are very what a lot of times the public would think of as high risk, is coming from a background that doesn't afford many opportunities. In fact, one of the first times I took a class over from Cordova High School, which is literally, as you saw on the map, across the street, we went to Soilborn Farms, and then we went down to the river. And I remember it distinctly because several of those kids said, I had no idea there was a river here so close to our school. And those students actually lived within about 6 blocks of Cordova High School. But again, in terms of access and things that those students have the ability to get to are somewhat limited. Pretty much every school in Rancho Cordova especially accesses Soilborn Farms currently. We have both field trips that take kids to the farm, and then also there are programs where the farm sends folks out to the schools themselves. The outdoor educational experience along the American River is a rare and critical learning opportunity for thousands of our under-resourced students in the Rancho Cordova part of our district especially. The K through 8 grade experiences that they have at Soilborn Farms really is the pipeline that feeds the FFA program at Cordova High School. And again, those experiences, when you watch a kindergartner or a first grader, a fourth grader have experiences either with animals or with growing things in their garden, it really just opens up a pathway in terms of opportunity that they had never even considered. It's also been incredibly gratifying to watch families come to the school or families take their children back to Soilborn Farms and then have a family experience about what could be being done at the house in terms of sustainable food or just exposure again to outside spaces. Animal science is one of the focuses of the AG Academy. We have a lot of CTE programs at Cordova High School, but one of the best is our FFA Academy, and we really are looking to grow that program as well as the tie-in to the culinary arts program, which is also a very celebrated program at Cordova High School. FFA students will have the opportunity to raise the animals on the farm once the animal barn is built, and participation in the integration of the animals into a dynamic regenerative agriculture system that helps to improve the resiliency of the natural ecosystem. I think also one of the big learning pieces for our students has been just the relationship between us and the environment, both the things we control, like in a farm setting, but then what is the impact on the wild areas in the immediate area also has been profound for our students. I think I heard that you guys are not governed by the Brown Act, so I don't know if I need to stay, if you want to ask any questions of the school district or if that's appropriate, but if not, I'll simply say thank you so much for considering this, and we wholeheartedly and energetically hope you'll approve the project.
Thank you for your comments and the good work with the students. Do any of the advisory committee members have a question for Mr. Huber? Seeing none, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
We have Betsy Wyland.
Yeah, we should mention, given where we are in the agenda, what we want to establish is a 2-minute time limit for each speaker.
You might want to bring the mic down to your mouth if you can. Pull it on down so we can hear you. There you go.
I wrote my comments because I'm going to jam through them, okay? So good morning, board members. My name is Betsy Wyland, and I'm here today in support of the $2 million request by Soilborne Farms to build the interpretive animal barn and bring animals back to the farm. I participated on the American River Parkway Plan Update Citizens Advisory Committee. The committee worked for 2 years on updating the plan that governs the management and operation of the parkway. Decisions were made by consensus, and there was anticipation around including a farm centered on farming with nature, healthy food, youth education, and community engagement in the parkway plan. As a founding member of the CMPS Native Plant Nursery on the farm, I experienced from the beginning the seemingly impossible task of getting a farm with big promises to keep up and running. I watched the many large dumpster loads of years-old trash hauled away and the work of getting barely standing buildings habitable and functionable, all while trying to make the business of growing food happen on desiccated soil buried beneath acres of invasive weeds and grasses. Everything about the farm, 16 years later, brings to life the story of living on river land in harmony with nature. The LARC funded a parking lot, yes, but today it parks vehicles almost as an afterthought to the native plants and oaks growing there. It sits in view of a farm field producing nutritious food, and just across the driveway is the fruit orchard. As one of the first buildings you see on entering the farm, the interpretive animal barn will immediately telegraph its own story of harmonious living. The visitor will ask, is this really a barn? Why does it hug the earth and grow plants on its roof? Why does it invite all people, including some not so able, to climb up top? Can farm animals really live here and not in a big red barn with a hayloft? Meeting the animals at rest and work will tell more stories of the relationship between people, plants, and animals. The farm animals work hard. With diligence, they tackle the foundational job of controlling invasive weeds and grasses. The scat is natural fertilizer. With the weeds and non-native grasses gone.
Betsy, can you include in the next 10 seconds, please?
And 2 sentences. And the fire fuel load reduced, soil fertility and biology is raised, and native plants and animals will continue to return in growing numbers and diversities to finish the work of regenerating the ecosystem alongside people. Please fund the farm. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
We have Robert Azevedo. I apologize if I butchered your name. He's on Zoom. Okay. Can you help us, Geneva?
Yes. Robert, could you please raise your hand? Oh. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself. Oh, hold on. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Rob Azevedo, and I am a board member actually on Soil-Borne Farms. And I've been on the board for about, I think, 6 or 7 years. And I originally joined the board as the lead physician for Kaiser Permanente in Sacramento, representing Kaiser Permanente, but also have an agriculture background and actually was raised on a 5th-generation farm in the Salinas Valley. So both of those drove me to get involved with Soil-Borne Farms. I then retired 3 years ago and asked Janet and Sean if I could stay on the board as a community member because of passion that I saw in how they wanted to develop the land and really move forward in all the things that Sean has talked about today. So I wanted to give you just a real life experience that relates to all the things that Sean talked about, the benefits of having grazing animals. About 5 years ago, I bought 40 acres in the foothills. When we originally bought it, it was a horse farm, and it was very much what you'd expect a horse farm to be. There were very few native grasses. The soil was not what it needed to be. And one of my goals was to do many of the things that Sean has talked about. I now raise sheep, goats. I still have some horses, chickens, I actually breed both sheep and goats. And I've had the local ag department out in my property several times working with them around what can I do to regenerate my soil? What can I do to, in fact, bring back native plants, to eradicate weeds, fire abatement, all the things that Sean spoke about. And I recently had them out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were amazed at the changes in my property. The soil was significantly improved. They did not expect the number of native California plants that were now existing on my property, and it really was through my personal animal program, rotational grazing, really looking at the land and the animals as working together to have an overall improvement. So my work with Soil-Borne Farms has been amazing, and I think that this next step is absolutely a needed step. And I'll just give you one more personal story, and that is that I have a daughter.
If you can conclude pretty soon, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
We're over time already.
Sure. Just quickly, I have a daughter who's a 1st grade teacher in the Sacramento area. She brought her class out several times, and she said that these kids who have very little information around agriculture and a farm-like environment are amazed at what they learn and what they see and how it really changes their perspective.
Please conclude.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for your comments.
We have Maria Niested from the city of Rancho Cordova. And I apologize if I got your name wrong. Oh, good. Exciting.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of this project. I'm Maria Chacon-Niested. I'm the Communications and Public Affairs Director for the City of Rancho Cordova. I'm here to speak on behalf of the city in support of the Soil-Borne Farms Animal Barn Project. Soil-Borne Farms, as you know, is a gem in the community of Rancho Cordova. It offers our region a diverse landscape that engages people of all ages in hands-on learning. It connects them to the natural world of healthy food, of regenerative farm and land stewardship, of farm and garden education, job, life, leadership skills, as well as service opportunities. All of these are very important factors in creating a strong, healthy, and vibrant community. The city supported Parkway efforts to designate the American River Ranch as an official public interpretive center and has invested heavily in the site development and programming because we view it as an essential resource of our community. The city shares the goal of developing Soil-Borne Farms as a regional education hub for food, health, and environmental stewardship. In fact, the city believes so strongly in the mission of Soil-Borne Farms that we've approved grants totaling $600,000 between 2018 and 2023 to support infrastructure improvements to prepare the site for new construction projects like the Animal Barn project. Soil-Borne Farms has delivered on all past projects and has shown their commitment to stewardship of the American River Parkway and experiential education. to not just the residents of Rancho Cordova, but to the greater Sacramento region and beyond. The Animal Barn project supports the return of animals to the American River Ranch, which will help deliver on its role of helping restore and steward and interpret over 60 acres of parkway ecology. Greater success towards these goals of the American River Ranch directly benefits and educates thousands of adults and families from our community who visit the farm every Saturday. The Animal Farm project also supports critical food, health, and environmental career pathways, as you just heard from Assistant Superintendent Huber. For area youth that.
Please conclude soon.
I have
Thank you.
two more major points. Would that be all right? Thank you, sir.
Please do quickly.
There's over 3,000 Rancho Cordova students that interact with the farm each year, and the addition of farm animals to Soilborn's regenerative land management will shape and enhance classroom learning related to environmental stewardship. One last comment, and that is while I'm here representing the city of Rancho Cordova, I'm also a resident of Rancho Cordova. I'm also a student of many, many classes at Soilborn Farms. I'm very happy to say I can do my own irrigation. On behalf of the city of Rancho Cordova, I ask for your consideration and approval of the funding request to build the animal farm and bring animals back to the farm. As Sean mentioned, it is shovel ready and the community is ready too. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to jointly fund several projects with the city.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Mark Berry.
Just want to again remind folks, let's try to we really need to keep to a 2-minute limit. Been going over that last several speakers, but we're going to be more firm on keeping to a 2-minute limit. Thank you, Mr. Berry.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Mark Berry. I'm chair of an organization called Preserve the American River. We're on the south side of the river. We have about 5,000 people involved with what we do. We're immediately downstream of Soilborn Farm. We took a vote about whether we supported this proposal, and it was unanimously decided that they wanted me to come here and speak in favor of it. And the reason is because, well, we look at the American River itself as an asset, but we look at this as a huge opportunity to improve that asset. This is an investment, it's just in the quality of the American River Parkway and what it offers to people, but also to our children. I have 2 girls graduating from college this year, and when they come back, one of the places they always go to, one of the places they take their friends is Soilborn Farm, and it's a huge asset. It's a place that not only an economic asset, but it opens children's minds, right? They come here and they expand their opportunities to learn, and it's a huge, huge asset, and it just needs to continue to be improved. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Berry.
Mary, are there any other speaker cards? And Geneva, is there anybody with their hand raised online?
There are no raised hands.
Thank you.
That's it. I will barge in and say there is one other person in the audience that would like to.
That I didn't call? Somebody else in the room? Oh, come on down then. I apologize. Please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Angela Gates, and I'm a student at Cordova High School, as well as the president of our FFA chapter and the Agriculture Academy at Cordova High. And personally, I've experienced how difficult it is to get hands-on experiences for our students in an urban community. And I believe that having this barn at Soilborn Farms would open so many doors for our students. One of the main opportunities in FFA is raising an animal for fair. And a lot of our students don't have the opportunity to do it. And if so, we can only do rabbits because of the space we have at home. Having a barn would allow students to interact more with animals and develop career-ready practices. And it would just open so many more doors for us as an urban community and a small FFA chapter to let us rise to that level where we can share more experiences with our students, open more opportunities, and educate them on the process from farm to fork, which FFA is trying to do. Thank you.
Good job, Angela.
Thank you for your comments. Beautifully expressed many of the reasons why this project is important to move forward. So thank you very much.
I think we have one more in the room. Going one. Is there, beyond that, is there going to be anybody else? So I don't look silly. All right, great. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Tom DeLeone. I'm speaking myself and a volunteer for the American River Parkway. I'm very familiar with soil-borne farms, and I think the example that they set for good farming, good land management along not just one river, the American River, but the Cordova Creek as well. I grew up on a farm, and I can tell you my favorite authors or two of my favorites are Barbara Kingsolver and Wendell Berry. Their words tell us what farming is like, but knowing it and living on the land, a living experience is what counts. It's what sinks deep into your bones. And that's the opportunity that we need for children like or young women, we just heard, who could benefit from a project like this. Yes, $2 million is a lot of money, but it's money well spent, and it'll be capital improvements well cared for that will go on for many, many years serving our community. I wouldn't be, I doubt, a volunteer for Friends of the River, nor would my friends Chuck or Paul or Daryl, who take the time to go out and remove invasive plants from the river, walk trails, make reports. We wouldn't be doing that if it weren't for these kinds of backgrounds that we had in rural farming environments. And this program offers that to city children. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Biglione. That concludes our public comments part of the discussion. We now want to open up discussion amongst advisory committee members as to the request for $2,012,000 for the American River Ranch Animal Barn construction request. I want to start off with a couple comments and start off with a proposal. As we discussed earlier, we have about $2.4 million left for the Lower American River Conservancy. That may be the only funding we have moving forward. If there is a bond act, a climate bond on the November ballot, and there's additional funding for this program, there would be opportunities to supplement the funding for this project. I think there's no question this project has significant benefits. There's important reasons to fund this project. I want to call everybody's attention back to the funding summary that was part of the packets. In that funding summary is a list of other projects that we funded. And I just want to mention the projects that we provided planning funding that will come back to us at some point for funding. The FEI Nature Center Facilities and Improvement Planning, the Lower Cordova Creek Restoration Planning, Bushy Lake Conceptual Restoration Plan, Cal Expo and Wood Lake Crossing, a project of the County of Sacramento, the Rossmore Bar Trail Enhancement Planning for an ADA trail, Sutter's Landing Regional Park ADA trail access, the FEI Nature Center Facilities Improvement Planning, which augmentation, which I had mentioned. If we fund the full amount for this project, we're going to leave very little funding for any of these other projects that we've helped foster. There's no question that this project has a lot of merit. That's why I want to open the discussion by proposing that we allocate $700,000.
Anybody else even talking, Mr. Chairman, you're going to go and put a proposal on the floor before any of us get to have a comment or a question?
Just prerogative.
Yes. You know, we're going to have a discussion about it. I think it's
in the frame of you setting it for us.
It's useful to have a concept on the table and we can discuss it.
Chair, this is so inappropriate for you to be doing that.
It is not. You should know better.
I do know better.
Okay.
Not to mention, he already mentioned he was going to do this before we ever finished questions and comments.
Okay, I would take your comments under advisement. Okay. That's my suggestion and the context for the discussion. I want to open up the discussions. Everybody's more than welcome to make other proposals for funding for this project. This is an important project. We have other important projects that may come before us. And the question is not whether we fund this, I think, but whether we ask Soil-Borne Farms to find other partners to further help fund the project. So I'm happy to open up. Please let me know if others want to comment. Morgan?
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of concern about the cost of the project and the monies that we'll have left in the fund. And I just want to make sure that I'm understanding our budget situation. So Carrie, you might be the best person. But if we were to fully fund this project, there would be $400,000 plus or minus some. But we also have the $250,000 that'll be returned to Prop 68 approximately, and there will still be the $465,000 in the contingency fund that we would have access to should we need it. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I've actually done that math, so I'm glad you brought that up. So yes, with the funds that we expect that will be recovered once we close the projects out, plus the 465,000 that we have remaining in the contingency fund, plus the remaining balance from the 2 point whatever we have left in Prop 68, that would leave 1.1 million for the program.
I really appreciate you having that already, because I think that that's something that we should also make sure that we're understanding, that it's not just the bottom line $400,000. There's a lot more money that's on the table. And then my last question is, the expiration date of the Prop 68 funds is June 30th, 2028, which means no more invoices can come back. Every single cent has to be spent by that date. There is no extension. That's the end of it.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make
Can I ask a follow-up question to that? For this process, was there an RFP that was put out to ask for proposals during this time period?
No, so
Or how did we end up with just the one project?
yeah, so
here to
WCB, we actually have a new application process, and this was provided to the advisory committee as a technical memo. And our application process is now open on a continuous cycle. It's year round. However, we still have a pre-application and a full application process. And as part of that full application process, the advisory committee gets to review every proposal that we receive under the program.
But and so I guess, so my question, in timing for this meeting, what was the timing that we only have this project and not the myriad of projects that the chairman has referenced?
Because this one's ready to go and Soil-Borne Farms is being proactive and, you know, they've almost completed. So the planning grant that we have with them for the animal program is just now wrapping up. And they, you know, wanted to jump on getting those construction dollars. So, you know, and that's what we do expect of what we hope of our grantees to continue our investment.
If I could jump in just to be more clear, we have no other applications in front of us for these funds. So WCB considers them on a continuous basis and brings them before this board when they are ready for review. So.
And this is the only one. Thank you.
Just point for clarification, are any of the other projects that the chair listed shovel-ready projects, or are those planning grants? I'm not clear. It's my first meeting.
So a few of them will be shovel ready. However, they will not be ready according to my understanding of them and where they are in the planning process, at least until next year or maybe, you know, and then they have to go through the application process, which is about I would say 3 to 4 month process.
And some of the projects I recognize from other fund development opportunities that we've been working with the community, the county has to seek some federal earmarks. So I would just say for those that aren't shovel ready, there may be a longer timeline for fund development to get them to full funding in contrast to what we have before us today. Thank you.
Yeah, and WCB has 13 other funding programs too that some of those other projects could fit under, although they wouldn't be presented to you all as part of, you know, being requested under the LARC program. But I feel like they fit within some of the other programs of WCB.
I have a question.
Yes, Councilwoman.
How much is the school district giving towards this project? And then how much has the nonprofit organization contributed year to date on this project?
Ooh, year to date, I'm not sure, but for this specific project, Soil-Borne Farms is contributing a little over 18,000, and then City of Rancho Cordova is in the $400,000 mark.
No, but the school district, does the school district have commitments to this project?
That would be mostly through like our CTE programs or providing curriculum, instructor time. So it's almost like perhaps like in kind would be the commitment by the school district because we would providing the programmatic aspects of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, other comments of advisory committee? Cassie?
Just wanted to follow up, Karen, on your comments. Are you aware of any other projects that are sort of in the all but done, you know, would be coming before us in any time in the near future?
So the only one that I know of that's really close is the FAL Nature Center Facilities Improvement, but they have said that they have the funding for constructing that new aviary, and that was something that was pitched to the committee upon receiving that funding augmentation.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
So.
And then, and one more, the Bushy Lake Conceptual Restoration Plan, that was just the first phase of planning. There will need to go through a second phase of planning to get it shovel ready.
If I could just clarify something too.
Councilman Terry?
Ranch Cordova has contributed or is committed to this project for 514,000 for this. And I would also remind folks, this is the only interpretive center on the southern side of the river. We named a bunch of other things that are on the north that have also been funded, some at these levels. And so in looking at this project, and it is shovel ready, it's the only one that's shovel ready. We could run the risk of not spending all of the money in time. So I would make the motion to fully fund the project based on the staff's recommendation.
If there's a motion on the table, is there a second? Second, okay, discussion on the motion?
If I could just ask one other question on that. My understanding is there are mechanisms in place to extend the availability of the funding should the department request to do so. So I just want folks to be aware of that. I think is also an option that should be considered. I don't think the inference that the funding necessarily goes away and there's no ability whatsoever to extend it is an accurate one.
On the point, the 2028 deadline is a very common. I've worked on bond acts since 1988. It's very common. The legislature extends appropriations. And this is a $10 million to LARC out of Prop 68 was a specific allocation. It wasn't an appropriation of a larger pot. I think it would be pretty normal for the legislature if we had funding after 2028 to extend that deadline. But I think we're going to be able to spend the funds before 2028 nevertheless. But your point's well taken.
I would just say that in my work with the Department of Finance, I am aware of and have been involved in dozens and dozens of reappropriations and extensions annually. So it's not unheard of at all.
Thank you. Councilmember.
You want to go down or I don't want to go again if someone else has comments for me.
Good. Who has comments? I'll make a list.
What else raising their hand?
Any other members have comments?
Okay, then I'll go next. So,
Go ahead.
it's funny, I have a photo of me and my dad on the farm with goats and chickens, and we had sheep. I grew up in rural California. I moved into town, small town, Willows, California, had 2 chickens and a duck. It was fun. Really just rewarding as a child to be able to enjoy just animals and nature and grow plants and be outside. Because, we didn't have technology and we just had to be outside. So this project just feels very fitting for the photo on my screen. That's always on my screen. I also was a high school counselor and worked at Rancho Cordova High School. There's a desperate need there. And I know that area is a food desert and there's nothing like hands-on experience. I also was a Sacramento County Board of Education trustee where we talk about hands-on learning and curriculum and how much this benefits our kids. So seeing this project is exactly what we're looking for, at least in the education world, when moving projects along. I am concerned about it being $2 million. And I do partially want to spread the love here and there, but also it's important to have one amazing regional amenity that other school districts can also use. And that Rancho Cordova can partner with the school districts and have the County Office of Ed also be involved with it, because the County Office of Education also applies for federal grants and state grants. And this is a competitive project that I think would catch the eye of our federal officials. So I am inclined to supporting the full motion to fully fund it. I am a little bit worried about not spreading the love, but at the end of the day, if I don't hear from other board members, I will be supporting the motion that's been moved and seconded.
Okay. Other comments? Supervisor Serna?
Sean, can you come back up? So I imagine that if we fully fund this, and you stay on schedule, and, you know, I join others in acknowledging the terrific, resource that is Soil-Borne Farms. You know, I've been out there a few times and I've seen the great work that's going on, and, you know, on the Board of Supervisors for going on 14 years, I've seen a lot of progress. I guess what I want to have a commitment on the record from you about is to redouble and enhance your efforts to get you know, school age kids from some of our most economically challenged areas, not just Rancho Cordova. I know you're doing that already, but I gotta have that commitment from you, because I represent some of the poorest areas, not just in Sacramento County, but in the entire region. And those kids don't, you know, they don't know what a farm is. They don't know what a river is in terms of a firsthand account. So I'm inclined to support the motion, but I want to hear from you that there's going to be a redoubling of the effort to do what I've suggested.
Phil, I'd like to say that we would redouble our efforts, but my honest answer would be we'll triple our efforts.
Good.
I mean, this is what we do, and we've been doing that since the beginning. I think if you visit any number of schools, for example, in the southern part of the city of Sacramento, you could talk to teachers, students, administrators, who would vouch for the transformational experiences they've had at the farm and how that has gone back and transformed their schools. Look at Pacific Elementary, Oak Ridge. There's completely transformation, right? And so they come and get inspired and skills at the farm, and then we follow them back with interns from Sac State and Los Rios Community College School District, and we help them to make change in their own neighborhoods and at their home levels. So that's what we do, Phil. I mean, and we're going to continue to do it at the greatest level we can with the resources that we have available to us.
I'd hope we'd also not forget communities like Northgate and
Absolutely.
Strawberry Manor, and you know.
To that point, I'm not sure if you know our background, but the first school that I worked with was Grant High School.
Good.
Started the program there called Grant's Environmental Organization with Anne Marie Kennedy. We work with many of the schools there, and as well as in Natomas, the Natomas Reach. So every district in this county comes, those schools come to the farm.
Sean, can you also share the impact as far as the food grown there and working with the food banks in the region and how that's impacting other parts beyond just Rancho Cordova?
Yeah, I mean,
Sean, if you can be very concise, because we need to bring this to a vote and move on. We have other items with only 15 minutes before noon. So if you can just take a minute to answer Mr. Terry's question, then I want to bring this to a vote.
From the food perspective, we do grow a lot of food. At this point, for example, a large portion of the food that we grow goes into the school lunch program at Sac City Unified School District. We're growing lettuce directly for the central kitchen. It's going into the salad bar programs. So when we think about the food that we grow, yes, it's delivered directly to the community that we're in, but people from all over the county come, and then our food then flows. Historically, it's flowed to Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services. Some of it will be going to the Food Locker at Cordova Food Locker. It will have a new name soon. But also into our school lunch programs. The next venture that we'll be doing in partnership with CDFA is to get food directly into Folsom Cordova as well.
Actually, I'm going to add one more thing. Supervisor Serna brought up some good points. So if you can annually come back to the board and show us the diversity in your metrics of who we're serving, that'd be wonderful. That way we can rest assured that our communities north of the river are also taking advantage of the program.
Yeah, we can do that.
Very good. I get the sense of the advisory committee. Cassie, did you have a question, comment?
I just one more comment because I really appreciate the robust discussion today and all of the folks who have come out here to express their comments and concerns. And so I want to take the opportunity to say, I think for those of us who have expressed like a somewhat of concern around the broader funding and the other projects, even though I think sounds like folks are inclined to support the project today. For all of you, I think it highlights the importance of the climate bond and the funding that we get from the state, and the legislature is considering that now. And so I just encourage you to be engaged there, because this tremendous project, and we're lucky to have others as well, will really rely on that funding in order to keep this good work doing. So just wanted to put the plug in for folks being engaged, not just here with us, but also with their state legislators, to make sure that that funding remains available to support soil-borne farms and others.
Getting the sense of the advisory committee, I think it's time to, unless there's any other critical comments, take a vote on Councilman Terry's motion to fully fund the project as recommended by staff and seconded. Any objections to taking a vote at this point in time? Mary, please. Thank you.
We're voting on
$2.1 million as requested and as recommended. The full funding request.
The staff recommendation in the agenda.
Bill Cerna,
Aye.
Vanessa McCarthy Olmsted, Rebecca Sloan.
Aye.
Karina Talamontes,
Aye.
Donald Terry,
Aye.
Nicole Cuellar,
Aye.
Morgan Kilgallo,
Aye.
Stephen Benson,
Aye.
Jennifer Lucchese, Stephen Green,
aye.
Corey Brown,
Aye.
Cassie Gilson.
Aye.
Motion has passed.
Great. Congratulations. And thank you everybody for who testified in favor of the project. Testimony was very compelling. Good luck with the project. We look forward to touring it while it's in partial construction and seeing the full results, and seeing kids from Mr. Cerna's district, Ms. Talamonte's district, being part of the program, as well as the kids from Rancho Cordova and other places. Thank you. Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Yeah, California Conservation Corps. We've got Luna Martin making a presentation about the important work the California Conservation Corps does related to the American River and other projects. Mr. Martin, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, and I appreciate that we're over. So I will get to the point very quickly and try and respect everyone's want to fill our stomach as much as I can, as we want. So I'm Luna Martin. I'm the district director for the Sacramento Service District with the California Conservation Corps. Today I brought my project manager, Travis McCleary, out of the Sacramento Energy Center, and our Corps Member Advisory Board President, Waverly. We have slides. I'm going to quickly go through the slides. The most important slide that I have is my very last slide. I respect the panel here and the board, and know that you have most of you probably have massive knowledge about the CCC, and I don't want to assume that you do not. So I will go through who we are, what we do, but really specifically dive into how we can help the American River. If you don't know, the Sacramento Energy Center is off of Burkett Drive and Richards Boulevard. We are quite literally on the levee and are really close to Discovery Park. Our Corps members come from the general area around that space. We're a non-residential facility, and our Corps members come from the community. We are currently, as a project profile, work very far. Currently, we're in Pittsburgh Unified School District doing energy audits and things like that. So anywhere we can actually be effective and work well within our community is why I'm here today, because that is what we're trying to really establish across the board. So as you know, we're our oldest and largest. We got some formatting issues with the non-widescreen thing, so I'll go even more quicker if we're gonna have formatting issues. To protect and enhance California natural resources and communities, that's what we do. Some of our partners, wanted to really point out some of our main partners that we have across the board at the CCC. As you know, we do fuel reduction work with CAL FIRE and US Forest Service. We actually have a watershed stewards program through NOAA. We work with Caltrans for abatement all over the state. That's just general things that we do at the Cs and things that we work with on a regular basis. There are 1,587 core members across the state. In Sacramento, we currently have 45 core members who work out of our Sacramento Energy Center. That 45 core members constitutes 4 total crews. 3 crews of 10 that are specifically funded through greenhouse gas reduction. So every single bit of labor that my 30 core members do is funded through California Climate Investments and greenhouse gas reduction. So as long as we are meeting the needs of greenhouse gas reduction, as long as we're doing work that is part of those guidelines, we can offer free labor up to 10 core members working as long as you need us to work doing that work. There are plenty of opportunities for greenhouse gas reduction in that work along the American River. We've seen it. We've done projects here and there, but I honestly believe that we could be doing a lot more projects. If you've seen the work of the CCC, we come in, we get it done very quickly. And so anywhere we can help, we'd like to help. There are our locations. We got residential, we got non-res. For all of the panel members who talked about their children today, anybody who has knowledge, has anyone who's young, 18 to 25, trying to figure out what they want to do, we're a great opportunity. I also want to talk to everyone here just to say that we are looking for recruitment. My son is leaving to Fortuna this summer. I speak what I believe. I'm just here trying to find opportunities for our core members, and those opportunities are both in jobs. That for all the different people who work along the American River, for the city of Rancho Cordova and the jobs that are available there. It's also just projects. Doing fun work where they live is so important to our core members. They don't like to go, no offense to anybody, they don't like to go to El Dorado Hills and do work. They don't like to go to certain different places and do work. They want to work where they're at and we are quite literally on the American River, and we'd love to find as much work as we can along those areas. So just general ideas. We have all kinds of different programs across the state. Once again, formatting issues, so I'm going to keep going. Natural resources. We do fuel reduction, public lands, erosion management. Partners we have is Cal State Parks, Caltrans, city parks, flood districts. Trail work. We do plenty of trail work. We're helping over at Sutter's Landing with helping out some of the just small trails that they have there. But obviously, we work with state parks doing massive trails all along the state. This clicker doesn't want to go as fast as I want to go, so just apologize for that. Next. Habitat restoration. There is a core member, if you look quite left in the middle of that, doing plant native species, removal of invasive species, create salmon habitat. We do a lot of work on the Delta when it comes to invasive species. That is one of the major things that I see as someone who walks the American River on a regular basis, of trying to get habitat restoration and seeing what we can do in that world as well. Forestry Corps, we have chippers. So if you need that too, I got a chipper over at my Solano Center. We can help out in anywhere there. We have a forestry crew out of our Solano Center for possible different trainings and different things like that. But really wish I could just skip to the very last slide. So Energy Corps is what we have out of Sacramento. We could do lighting retrofits, but that doesn't really apply for this, but that is what we do. And once again, still having some formatting issues, so I apologize for that. So now we're getting into the world of what you all know about. You guys are well aware of the Prop 68. We have Proposition 1 water bond. And then we also have ATP, active transportation thing. In all of these funding sources, it does say that if you want to get this money, you have to consult with the California Conservation Corps. It's pretty much anything you're going to do in the state of California, you're supposed to consult with the California Conservation Corps. And that is kind of also why I'm here today. I know that a lot of funding sources here, that those things work outside of our funding. We don't get these funds directly, but Travis, myself are happy to consult if there are opportunities where we can come in and provide less labor. The prevailing wage, we are not, I love the unions. We work the unions a lot. We are not subject to prevailing wage because of state government code. So we are going to be a little cheaper hourly for every labor person out there. because we are half funded by the state of California as well as funding through reimbursable. So if you're just coming to us for a project and just want to actually and have money in the bank and you have a money that you want to spend, we actually can do reimbursable. We can have do the whole thing, figure out the dollars and cents. But then that also goes to the other, the next aspect of this money, which is money that we physically actually have control over and we get yearly, is the greenhouse gas reduction fund. So like I already mentioned, I have 3 crews that are fully funded through the CCI and the greenhouse gas reduction. Here we go. And then on top of that, the CCC is also gets monies that we then work with our partners to determine whether or not they meet certain guidelines. And that's a lot of fuel reduction work, a lot of different jobs that actually lead to greenhouse gas reduction in forest health. But forest health is not just the forest. There definitely much can be the work that we can do along the American River. So we have lots of different funding, lots of different opportunities to use us. We're living on it. We're working on it. We're doing what we can, and we just really want to help out. There are 3 fundamental things that I just want to touch base on why I'm even here. It is 1, the recruitment of core members. So that's always very important to us. 2, the work. So actually keeping our core members busy, doing interesting and different work wherever we can along the state, but also even more importantly in the community. And then 3, and what even I think is the most important, is finding jobs for these core members once they are done with the program. The program is 1 year to 3 years. And that's all I'm looking for, internships. It's happenstance that I have 2 core members who are starting their 6-month internship to do the whole season at, you guessed it, Soilborn Farm next week. We didn't plan that at all. It just happens to be the case. So they are going to be doing internships. I have 4 core members who are going to do internships at Cal OES. I've got a core member currently working in the Yolo Basin Foundation that's doing an internship alongside that great group. I mean, I want to put core members in jobs. I want to have great work for my current core members that I have, and I would love to do it on the American River because it actually get more work done. Because right now, if we have to drive an hour and a half, that's 3 hours that we're not working and we're not doing actual things. If I only have to drive 10 minutes, that's a whole lot more work than we can get done on the time frame that we have. So wherever we can help. I mean, Donald, sorry, I shouldn't just call you Donald. I just had a meeting. I mean, the meetings that come over my desk are all over the place. I was in a meeting with United Auto Workers and what is it? Sparks, I think, is opening a plant for batteries over at the old Aerojet facility. And they are talking to me about a training program to get core members to have jobs at that factory. So there are all kinds of opportunities. I'm open to listen to all and want to listen to all, and just really wanted to just bring it up and say hi and do whatever we can to the group. And if you ever have any funding shortfalls, please keep us in mind. Or if you just want to spend a lot of money really quick, please keep us in mind. We're happy to help.
Lunar, thank you so much for your presentation. The California Conservation Corps is an essential part of California's environmental natural resources programs. You've done great work along the American River. I greatly appreciate your presentation today. For members, the advisory committee, one of the things that's built into our organic legislation is consultation with the state and regional corps to see if they can be built into projects. And you get extra points in terms of the evaluation if a project uses the state or local corps. So thank you so much for the work and continuing work for you and for the corps members.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your help. Thank you.
Any questions or comments?
I'd like to also thank you for the life-changing work that you do for your members. Back when I was much younger and my brother was in your program, and it did change his life and he went on to good things. And I know you're doing that for every single person who you're working with. Thank you.
We try our best. Thank you. Thanks.
If there aren't any other questions or comments, I'd like to introduce, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, I just,
Stephen,
really briefly, I've had for years had the opportunity to work with the Conservation Corps through my job, and so thank you. You guys do a tremendous job, and I just I appreciate it.
And you were finance? I'm sorry, I didn't do it.
I do work with the State Department of Finance.
So thank you very much. To fund our program, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, but in all honesty, I've had the opportunity to go visit the residential centers. I've seen the programs, and I just thank you.
Thank you.
Great work.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Great, thank you. We'd like now to introduce Dylan Wood with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife to present about wildlife resources and natural resources along the Lower American River.
Yeah, good afternoon now to everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Dylan Wood. I'm a senior environmental scientist supervisor with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. I'm in our regulatory section. And today we'll be talking about special status species of the American River Parkway. So starting off with the CDFW mission, CDFW's mission is to manage California's diverse fish, wildlife, and plant resources and the habitats upon which they depend for their ecological values and their use and enjoyment by the public, which perfectly aligns with the American River because it's an extremely high value habitat. It has incredible biodiversity, has complex environments and habitats, but it also has public connection to those resources, a wide range of different things for people to interact with that nature. And then something very important for me is access to all extends throughout the entirety of Sacramento County for a number of different communities to all interact with that nature. So today's focus will be on special status species. Special status species being defined as plants and animals that are listed, proposed, or candidates for listing as threatened or endangered under the California Endangered Species Act, CISA, or the Endangered Species Act on the federal side, ESA. It also includes animals designated as special status species, species of special concern by CDFW itself, animals, species that are fully protected or CFPs in the California Fish and Game Code, sections 3511, 4700, 5050, and 5515. It also includes plants that are designated as rare by the California Native Plant Society, CNPS. Today's talk will be focused on terrestrial species, and I'd like to point out that there are a number of aquatic special status species as well, but today's talk will be focused on those terrestrial species because the aquatic species restoration and management are typically managed and driven by non-county constituents. And then on this slide, we have one of our most iconic and common special status species in the American River Parkway, the great blue heron, which is under that second bullet there, an SSC, species of special concern by CDFW. Our first special status species that we're going to look at in more detail is the Swanson's hawk. Its special status is that it's threatened under the California Endangered Species Act. It nests primarily in riparian woodlands and forest habitat along the American River Parkway, particularly in the lower parkway. Nearly 80% of its known nests are in riparian areas, and it typically forages within 1 mile of those nests. Priorities for management of this species, particularly in the American River Parkway, include protection of nest trees and old growth forests, because that's most likely where we're going to find those Swanson's hawks. Like I said, riparian habitats and cottonwoods are the most likely tree in which we're going to find this particular species nesting. So recruitment of cottonwoods being essential to the success of the species long-term in the parkway. And then, of course, going along with the nesting habitat, we look at grasslands as the primary foraging opportunity for those Swanson's hawks. So using those kind of two life history functions, the nesting and foraging behaviors, to really ensure the success of the species long-term. Highlighting a little bit of Swanson's hawk habitat. This is Sutter's Landing Park, a critical area for Swanson's hawk nesting in the American River Parkway. And what I'd like you to point you to in this particular slide is we have a dense riparian corridor along the river itself, but also some wide open grassland spaces which support that foraging opportunity for those Swanson's hawks. And we have a number of people in the audience today who have contributed very well to the success of that foraging habitat in this area by installing native plants and also reducing the invasive species in the area to open up more foraging opportunities for those Swanson's hawks. Switching gears a little bit, we're going to be talking about Western pond turtle next. Its special status is that it's a species of special concern by CDFW. It's also a new candidate under the Federal Endangered Species Act. It's found throughout the American River Parkway, but particularly Bushy Lake near Cal Expo. It's California's only freshwater turtle. And while it's a primarily aquatic species, it is terrestrial in terms of its nesting activity, and it may nest up to a 1/4 mile away from its aquatic habitat in upland areas. Priorities for this species include research. Just the more data we can gather on this species, the better we can do to manage it. So programs like Sac State, very involved in research of this species. We just need more and more of that to build our data for this species. Enhancing both basking and nesting opportunities. So looking at woody materials placed in Cordova Creek is a great example of basking opportunity development for that particular species, but also nesting as well, because this species will dig its nest underground. So we need nesting substrate that is available for those species to dig through. So compacted soil, areas where there's a dense thatch buildup, those are areas where the western pond turtle is not going to be able to nest as effectively. So really looking at creating a effective and healthy ecosystem to encourage all the different behaviors of the species. Also looking at control of non-native species, bullfrogs, red-eared sliders, and non-native fishes all fill similar ecological niches as the western pond turtle. So controlling of those species is definitely critical for long-term success of this species. Public education, particularly around red-eared sliders, is something that is very important because red-eared sliders are a species that is commonly found in recreational tanks and other things that people keep as pets. Unfortunately, they get tired of those pets and then dump them in the parkway. So increasing our public education efforts to make sure that people aren't doing that is a great way to encourage additional habitat and opportunity for these western pond turtles to really be successful. And I would like to highlight that it is a recent candidate under the Federal Endangered Species Act, so it's getting even more attention as a species that's in decline and needs to be further evaluated for its long-term persistence in California. Switching gears again, we'll be going to a plant species this time. It's Sanford's arrowhead. Its special status falls into that final bullet on that first slide. Its special status is designated as rare by CNPS. It's a rank 1B.2 plant, which means it's rare, threatened, or endangered in California and moderately threatened overall. We have a very high concentration of Sanford's arrowhead here in Sacramento County, so it's a pretty focal species of conservation need for us at CDFW. It's present in drainages, ditches, and creek connections in the American River Parkway, so not the river itself, but all the accessory channels that connect to the river. It reproduces asexually through flowers. Generalist bees and flies are the main pollinators for the species, and then it also reproduces asexually through rhizomes, so two different methods of reproduction. It's very easily identifiable through its white flowers, which are evident in May through October. And priorities for the species for us include research. There's only 2 papers ever on this species, so definitely looking at more research to develop our understanding of it and get more literature in the databases for everyone to utilize is definitely a priority for us. Avoidance during maintenance is also really important because it's a disturbance-dependent plant, but it cannot tolerate herbicides. So looking at ways to reduce that herbicide introduction in those areas in which this plant exists. And then identifying opportunity to stimulate disturbance and lessen that competition. So like I said, it's a disturbance-dependent plant, so it requires flood flows and other disturbance events to do that rhizomatic reproduction mentioned in the 4th bullet. So identifying opportunities to simulate that where possible, where we've otherwise controlled flood flow regimes is something we could definitely look at. And then finally, restoration of marsh and slow-moving channels. If you think about the American River historically, it's not just one channelized system, but in fact, an entire network of marshes and other side channels and a bunch of different habitat all connections to the river itself. So looking at developing more of those opportunities in the long term is something we could definitely use to prompt more persistence of this species. And then this is an example of Sanford's arrowhead habitat. So not a beautiful scene of the American River main channel, but one of these side ditches that has those slow moving flows. There's not a lot of encroachment of non-native vegetation, and you can see some of the plant there in the lower right-hand corner with its easily identifiable white flowers.
Dylan, this is a very important discussion. I want to make sure you have the time to get through it. We're past the noon hour. We'll give you a little more concise. Folks will have us access to the slides.
Sure.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So we're going to talk about bald eagle next. So it's special status species, an iconic species in California. It's a fully protected species and then endangered under the California Endangered Species Act. It has a couple of nests here in the lower American River, more soon because it's breeding pretty prolifically. We're getting between 4 and 5 new nestlings every year. I'll skip over some of the life history fun facts and just skip right to the priorities, and that we're looking at identifying and protecting nest trees, and then particularly around public outreach and access control because it is such an iconic species, looking at making sure we don't have public encroachment onto those nesting areas and then also making sure we enhance our fisheries resources as well, because its primary food source is fish. Crotch's bumblebee is the next species we'll be highlighting today. It's a candidate as endangered for listing under the California Endangered Species Act. Its historic and projected current range includes the American River Parkway, ground nester and rodent burrows under rocks and debris piles. And then priorities for this species, similar to Swanson's hawk, is that we're looking at enhancing our grassland opportunities, but the way we do that is a little bit different. Looking at restoration of floral resources, particularly milkweeds, salvias, lupins, and then that community education and outreach through programs like Soil-Borne Farms, where we're establishing hedgerows and fence lines, and then engaging our community as well, thinking about all the different property owners who own property along the American River who can contribute just a small amount of milkweed, a small amount of lupin, and really enhance these resources for the species. And then here's an example of some different floral resources that the Crotch's bumblebee depends on. You can see milkweed, but then some other less iconic ones such as scorpion weed and sage. And then finally, just like to highlight, while we have an abundance of special status species in the parkway currently, there's also a few members of this class that have unfortunately either become very uncommon or extirpated entirely. Bank swallow, burrowing owl, purple martin, and tricolor blackbird. And I would just implore everyone in the room today to think not only how can we manage our resources currently, but can we also recover species that have either lost or significantly declined. And then that's it. Available for questions if you have any.
Do any committee members have questions? Mr. Green?
Mr. Wood, I'd really like to get a printout of your slides. Is it on your website?
It is not available on our website, but we'll make it available for you through the CARES program.
Thank you.
Yeah, the slideshow, Kara, I assume will be on the Lower American River Conservancy page on the Wildlife Conservation Board website, wcb.ca.gov. Okay, so no more questions. Darren, thank you so much for your presentation, your important work along the parkway. Now I want to go to our informational items. We should be able to conclude these fairly quickly. I want to turn it over to Jennifer Norris on the first item, number 7.
Just on the Form 700, you have all completed your Form 700 responsibilities, so thank you. But there are 5 of you, I'm not going to name names, who still need to turn in your ethics certificate. So please get that done. Thank you.
Great. Next, one of our regular items is a update from Liz Ballas, who's the Director of Regional Parks in charge of the Parkway. Liz, I believe, is online.
Yes, I just unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know that the chairperson had asked that I provide a brief summary of our 50+ page letter that we provided to the Army Corps of Engineers on their erosion project. So I will briefly go over that. Basically, we focused on a couple of points on that, the erosion work that they're doing and the upcoming mitigation that they have for the Urudia site. The flaws that we found in that environmental study was that basically we felt that it was inadequate for us to really make a true determination that the projects, the erosion projects, specifically 4B, are consistent with the American River Parkway Plan and the limitation of impacts to the parkway. Also for the Urudia site, we would like to ensure that there is a retention of a portion of the pond because of the natural resources that are found there. If anyone needs a copy of that letter, I'm happy to provide that. Just please let Kara know and I will make sure that that is sent to you. For our natural resources management plan, our technical advisory committee has a meeting scheduled in May. They will be working on our annual monitoring plan. We are working on the implementation. Projects that are current right now are mapping of vegetation communities and social trails. For our Wood Lake Gateway project, we are working towards getting to 65% plans. We're at 35% right now and working on permitting with the Flood Control Board. And with that, I'll stop now. If you have any questions, let me know.
Great. Anybody on the advisory committee have questions for Ms. Ballas? So, Liz, thank you so much for your presentation.
Certainly.
The next item is item number 9, committee member updates. Any updates from committee members? Seeing none, we can move to number 10, next regular advisory committee meeting. Jennifer?
Just says it right there, October 4th, 10 to 12 in this room.
Very good. Kara, do you want to very briefly cover item number 11, the Parkway tour?
I do,
Very
and
briefly.
It's a shame that we've lost a few committee members because this is a really neat opportunity that we have to actually host a river tour for the advisory committee. So this next tour will not be open to the public. It will just be for the advisory committee, and Tom Biglione that was here would be our very own river guide with his 10-man Voyager canoe. And so we're planning on sending out a doodle poll with more information and to gauge folks' interest in participating in this river tour. And once we are able to lock in dates, then we'll send more information on the details.
For those who haven't been on the river, it's a completely different perspective. Highly recommend it. I have a raft. I can take 5 people on that raft as well, if
We
that would
want
be.
you in the canoe. We want you in the canoe.
Very good. Okay, any other announcements or other items of interest? Seeing none, looking for a motion to adjourn. Morgan,
I'll make that motion.
second?
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Sorry, it took so long.
That's